Hey everybody, it's at KK's Axe Reviews. We are back again with another video, and guys, we are here to talk about Superman&Lois episode 4 called The Inverse Method. Again, guys, I'm sorry that I wasn't able to really make my episode review yesterday of Superman&Lois. I was weirdly sick out of nowhere, and that's why I didn't post my episode 4 review, because again, I was just super sick. Like my stomach was killing me, and I just was not feeling good, and I was like, you know what, I was like, either I try to really push through it and try to do the review for you guys, but I just could not do it. So finally I'm able to do it today. And guys, what a crazy ass episode. We're really getting a lot of Bizarro in this episode. We got a ton of Bizarro, and we really see in this episode, it was for instance, it was a really like Lois and Lois and why am I forgetting Lois' sister's name? I hate when I do, like, I blank out like that. Lucy, there we go. I just, like, popped into my brain. But, this was a very Lois and Lucy focused episode, because in the beginning of this, like, at the start of the episode, we get, like, a 5-year ago flashback, I think, to, Lucy and to Lois, and we get a little bit more of an explanation on, like, of why Lois wants to have Lucy there or whatever. And how, like, Lucy thinks that there's no reason to stay with Lois and the kids and Clark, because at that time, Lois, Lucy was staying with Lois and Clark. I'm pretty sure in Metropolis at the time. That's where I'm thinking, because that's where their apartment was, and that would make most sense because they didn't move to Smallville until recently. So at that time, I'm pretty sure she went through the cult and everything, but she wanted to go back to Allie's cult. And Lois is like, I don't want you going back there, and I'm willing to do anything and everything to make sure that girl goes to prison for what she's done. You OD'd, you know what I mean? Like, if I wasn't there for you, you know what I mean, bad things could happen and stuff. And it seems like that didn't happen yet. I'm pretty sure when she went back with Allie, then that's when it happened, and she was doing everything she could to make sure Allie was put away in prison. So I'm pretty sure that didn't happen yet, because it wouldn't make sense that Lois would stay with them after that's what she went through. Unless it did, and actually no, I think the article is what made her not want to talk to Lois anymore, made Lucy not want to talk to Lois anymore. So maybe that did happen, her almost ODing, and she stayed with them. But then when she said, I'll make sure, I'll do anything and everything so you don't go back to Allie, because she said, like, she was going to stay with Allie and everything, and she seemed like she was, like, at that point too far gone, you know what I mean? But not as far gone as we do see her, like, again in the episode. So seeing that moment, it was already like you could feel the stress of what Lois was going through. You could feel that, Lois, wanted, like, said that you do belong here. We do want you here, even though you don't think, that you don't belong here, and think that, there's nothing here for you here. There's nothing, for you here. There is. You have family here. And, that was just a very sad moment, which is like, I'm going to go stay with Allie. And, that's when Lois is like, Allie is a manipulative cult person. She has no desire to help you. And then, of course, Lucy's like, no, I'm going to go stay with her, this, and that. And we pretty much finally get them, we get to, like, an understanding of why Lois did the, that article, to make sure that, that Allie can never hurt, Lucy again. So that was really cool to see that in the beginning of the episode. But then we cut, of course, to present day, and we cut over to, we see Clark, with Jordan and Jonathan, at the farm. And pretty much we see them, sitting at the dinner table, or, well, actually, they're sitting at the breakfast table. They're having breakfast. And they, at this point, Jordan, Jonathan, and Clark are all talking about, like, about Clark having his, having the connection to this Bizarro Superman. And at this point, Clark has another, flash, because we see Bizarro out somewhere, I'm assuming probably by the fortress, like, and he's trying to destroy that necklace that was around his chest, and that's really focused in this episode, and like this diamond shaped necklace, but it's like sideways, and people have thought it could be maybe a key to the Phantom Zone. Some people think it could be just some sort of like device that makes them connected, and I'm thinking that I thought that through the episode is that they kind of hint towards that necklace. And we see Bizarro Superman pretty much using his heat vision coming from his mouth because everything is opposite for him. So his heat vision doesn't come from his eyes, it comes from his mouth. His cold, breath comes from his eyes as lasers instead of, coming from his mouth. So I think it's all like, backwards. So seeing him trying to destroy that necklace, and then we see the connection going back and forth between Clark and Bizarro, and of course that's when Jonathan and Jordan are like, "Are you okay?" And he's like, Clark's like, the Bizarro, he's still, I guess he didn't leave, he's still around here, I'm still getting the flashes, and of course, like, Jonathan's like, "Have you figured out why you're getting the flashes and why you guys are connected?" He's like, "I'm still trying to figure that out." And Jordan, meanwhile, he's trying to peek in on what Lois is trying to hear because Lois is listening to the podcast, and we end up finding out on the podcast that actually is Lucy that was their secret guest that was going to be coming on the Allie's podcast. And that was a lot to, Jordan's paying attention to that. And of course, Clark's like, "How many times have I told you not to use your powers like that?" Because again, Jordan yelled at Clark for doing that and Jonathan, and he should have learned by now not to snoop on people. But Clark's like, "Since you did it, what's your mom up to? Like, what's she doing? Like, what's she up to?" And they're like, "Oh, she's listening to the podcast, and it is Lucy." And right away, that was really, Clark was really like, "Oh crap," you know what I mean? I was kind of hoping it wasn't, because he gave Lois the pep talk saying, Lucy's not too far gone, you know what I mean? She's not Tauro. She can be saved. Just go talk to her. Meaning, because we thought, she was just gonna go talk to, Lucy, because Lois's father Sam pretty much said, "I made it so, Lucy would come and talk to you," but it was the Allie girl that popped up instead of Lucy, and that's when we could tell that, Allie got Lucy wrapped around her finger again, even after what happened, and that's when, Allie told Lois we're back at that diner, and I think that's where it connected after we got the whole 5 years ago thing. It connected right back to them, back to the moment where we left off in last week's episode, where it's Allie that showed up instead of Lucy, pretty much saying to, Lois, we're not a cult, we make people, I forget, reach their full potential and transcend into a greater power or something, like just some cult bullshit. That's pretty much it. She's on some cult bullshit and she's denying everything. But the really scary moment, which I was not expecting, is that she had her culties stand up with her when Lois said, "I'll do anything and everything to make sure that you get put away." And of course, Allie stands up saying, "I don't like threats," and a whole bunch of her little minions pop up behind her. That was some scary shit, and that shows she's a threat, because she, if I'm correct, she is playing she's playing, I forget what her name is. She's playing a villain, and I'm gonna find out real quick what villain she's playing, because she's killing it, and I want to find out just to make sure what villain she's playing. And I saw it earlier, and I want to see if I can find it again. Who is she playing? I think was it Parasite or something like that? Was it? Or it was something. I forget what it was. And I'm trying to find out, because I follow this Instagram, and they had the name of the person that, who she was playing. I don't know. Let me know down in the comments below, because I just can't find it. But that was a scary moment when she's like, "I don't take, I don't do threats or whatever." I was like, damn. And I was like, okay. So seeing the moment where like, they have to get ready to go to school, and we see, of course, Clark, he's knocking on the door to Lois, and he gets invited in, and he ends up finding out saying that, Lucy's denying everything. This is really going to screw up everything. I don't know what else to do. And then at that moment, pretty much, she realizes that she has to find Lucy. And we end up having Lois, go to the Smallville Gazette, talking to Chrissy, saying, "Okay, have you been here all night?" Because we see Chrissy on her, her computer, and she's sipping like these sports drinks, and she had takeout, and Lois is like, "Have you been here all night?" And she's like, "Yeah." She's like, "Nope, yeah, actually I have." And you know what I mean? And then she's like, "Yeah, we have to do what literally you said before. We got to get in front of this, and we have to go find Lucy, because I need to talk to her. I need to try to save her, because she doesn't want to give up on Lucy, and she wants to actually try to save her, because this Allie girl is dangerous and she needs to be put away." So we see her trying to find Lucy, and we end up finding out that there is some secret like, I guess she has some secret like group gathering outside of Smallville in this town, and she pretty much gets Chrissy to do. She was doing some like undercover stuff on the dark web, trying to figure out if she could get an invite to this gathering by Allie, and she ends up getting an invitation. And she ends up putting on this like blonde wig, pretending to be some different alias, trying to get in, because at this point they're trying to find Lucy. That's why she made that profile on the dark web, to try to get invited to this gathering by Allie's cult, if hoping to find Lucy there. And we end up actually finding Lucy there, and that was because while Chrissy is in there trying to be somebody else, she Lucy ends up finding Lois out in the car and saying, "What are you doing here?" And pretty much saying, I came here to talk to you. I came here to, also confront you on the fact that you said I was lying in that article when I wasn't. And pretty much Lucy's agenda when she gets Lois into her like your little like hotel room was trying to set up Lois, trying to get actually word for word hardcore proof on what she on proof about Lois. Pretty much, I guess it was only, there was no proof behind what Allie was doing. I guess it was just, her trying to, like, she didn't have any hardcore evidence to say all the stuff she did, besides the fact of she saw what Lucy was going through, but she didn't have enough proof to really put her away or do anything to her not cult, not Allie's cult, but even though she does have a cult. So we have to find, pretty much this season, I feel like it's going to be about Lois finding hardcore proof that Allie's bad news, she is running a cult. But what's really scary is while that's going on, and Lucy has her secret recording of their arguments on Lucy trying to convince Lois that, I was never a part of a cult, Allie's a good person, she really tried to help me, you over exaggerated it, this and that. And we see Chrissy hearing what was going on because Allie broadcasts it throughout the entire meeting, and knowing that Chrissy is there, and Allie actually knows Chrissy's real name. Chrissy Beppo's like, Chrissy Beppo back there and all that, and calls her out and saying your alias didn't work, and Chrissy's calling her out for her bull crap, and then she's like, do you actually know the real Lois Lane? And makes it live, the broadcast of Lucy recording her and Lois's argument in the hotel room, and pretty much trying to Allie's trying to wants Chrissy to turn on Lois, and wants everybody to cut ties with Lois to make Lois sound like she's the crazy person. Pretty much Allie's playing chess while Lois is playing checkers. Well, Allie and Lucy are playing chess while Lois and Chrissy are playing checkers. Pretty much they're one step ahead of them, knowing that that alias didn't work, knowing that Chrissy would pop up with Lois, and of course Lois was going to try to get information and try to look for Lucy and everything. She knew all that was going to happen, and pretty much she did convince Chrissy that Lois is a liar. There might be more stuff that Lois is hiding from Chrissy, and that Lois should have told Chrissy from the beginning the truth about what actually happened with Lucy, and a lot more of it, and she was holding back stuff. So that automatically turned Chrissy against Lois, because at first I was like, okay, because when Lucy was sitting Chrissy was sitting through the meeting, through that that weird cult intervention with Allie, and at first I thought she was buying into it, because she was kind of like, it felt like she was resonating what Allie was saying, and then when she finally saw the footage of Lucy and Lois arguing, that confirmed to Chrissy that Lois is a liar, and Lois is holding back on stuff that she's not telling Chrissy. So when she gives Allie that call, saying that, hey, I want to know more about what Lois is hiding from me. I want to know the real Lois Lane. It's like, oh shit, I feel like Chrissy is gonna be sucked into that cult, and that's scary, because I don't want Chrissy to go down that path, and it's very dangerous line that because that could take away the Smallville Gazette for Lois. So she has no form of trying to get get the news out there that, Allie is a cult leader, and I feel like she's going to take a lot of the cult actions into Smallville, and there's going to be a cult roaming around Smallville. I feel like there's a lot of crap that's going on this season, along with what Clark's going through with Bizarro, trying to figure out why there's a connection there. And we see Bizarro, we see a nice moment where, when the kids go to school, we see a moment between John and Clark talking about, they're having a really nice moment on how, John's loving it in Smallville, and so is I don't know why, but I'm literally forgetting John's kid's name. I don't know why, which is very shocking to me. I'm going to figure out right now. Natalie, there we go. So Natalie and John are loving Smallville. They're like, we never thought we would love it here because, we always lived in Metropolis, and we'd never have thought that, we would like it. And, Natalie loves it here. She's making friends. She's making a family. She's really connecting with Jonathan and Jordan, and I love that for her. And it was just a nice moment that they were having that nice conversation. And he's like, look, John. And before we really got into, a deeper meaning of, I know it must be hard, you living here, especially with Lois here, and trying to really connect with him. Here comes Bizarro Superman rolling up, knowing now that, hey, this is where it is. Because I don't know if Bizarro, of course, knows that, if he knows that side of a Clark Kent side. I don't know what he knows because he's kind of like a zombie right now. Or maybe he does, or maybe he doesn't. But if he didn't now, he does know now that Clark Kent is Superman. So I don't know how all this is going, except he might know because again, but that Bizarro is an alternate version of Superman. So I'm pretty sure we would know that he is Clark Kent. Again, I don't know enough right now to know what is really happening and what's going on in Bizarro's head, except he's just a zombie right now. But that was a cool fight sequence that broke out. And mind you, John Henry Irons cannot use his steel, hammer. He can't use his steel suit. So at this point, he's just having to watch Clark get his ass beat, and this weird necklace that, Bizarro is trying to destroy, meaning I'm thinking that's why they're connected. He couldn't destroy it, Bizarro. So I don't know. I'm thinking maybe when it looked like he was trying to Bizarro was trying to suck Superman inside, that necklace. That's what it seemed like it looked like. Maybe if he does that, he gets full control now. I don't know really what was going on with that, or maybe he's healing when he sucks in some of the energy that Clark's putting off. I don't know what's going on with that necklace. But it seemed like that's what it was trying to do until, John's like, send me my hammer. And of course, his AI's like, if we send you that, you could hurt yourself. Like the amount of force that you're getting from your hammer. He's like, just do it. Gets the hammer, pretty much hurts his wrist bad. And, he ends up throwing the hammer of what juice it has left. But the hammer gets I thought almost it seemed like again, it's already cracked. And we end up seeing, at that point, I thought the hammer got destroyed, but it didn't. And he pretty much did save Clark, and we do see Bizarro just fly away. And ends up becoming a problem where, John says, to Clark saying, this is a problem. I can't help you right now because my suit's in bad condition and my hammer's in bad condition. You need help. And I'm thinking you do need to go to Anderson and get some help. And then that's when Clark has a realization saying he doesn't want to do that because, again, they're just kids and they can't fight this being. They can't fight this. But again, John's like, you can't fight this on your own, and I can't help you right now. So I do think your best option is going to Anderson, even though you don't want to bring Anderson into this because he will send those kids out there, even though they're not ready. But of course, Clark thinks, Anderson has a brain at this matter and ends up going to Anderson saying, look, I need you to track down this energy signal coming from this necklace that John gathered. I need you to let me know first if you pick up the energy from this Bizarro with this necklace so I can take him out and deal with it. And even at this point, Anderson says that you are in no shape right now to be taking on this being. You can't do it. I'm gonna send in my team if we get this ping. But he kind of leaves it up on the point where he's like, Anderson, those kids are not ready. They will get hurt and they will die. You need to let me know when this thing pops up. I need to take it out alone. I need to deal with this by myself. And he's like, pretty much is like, leaves it in a way where it kind of makes it sound like he says, okay, I will give you let you know first if it does pop up. But of course he doesn't. When he gets the notification on where this, Bizarro is, he ends up sending out, Tag and the other two kids out to go fight Bizarro Superman, and that just goes to shit, because they even asked before they go out there, where's Superman? Shouldn't he be helping us? And pretty much we just leave it on the point where he's like, he just sends them out there, not letting the kids know where Superman is. So right away when they pop up, they're like, Superman, and I love how Tag's like, that's not Superman. And they get ready to fight, and they get their ass kicked. Literally, Tag gets thrown when Tag just runs at him super speed, gets grabbed by the neck, gets thrown. Next thing you know, the other two kids get their picked up by their necks and get their necks snapped. And Clark can see this when he's with Lois at this point, because Lois ends up going back, because Lois is with him at the time, and ends up finding out that there's shit that's going wrong right now. And I think also John's there, because John ends up running into the barn saying, I need my suit, even though it's on low energy. The hammer is cracked. It has a chest that's incaved. It is in no condition to go out in the field right now, and the force fields are down. And Natalie said she was going to help him fix it when she got back from school, but he just could not wait, because he didn't want Clark to go out there and die. He said, I can't just stand there and let that happen. I need to go out there. I think Lois should have stopped him, but of course, Lois really can't stop him from doing that. He would have done it anyways. But we see those kids dead, and we see Tag, the only one that's left. At this point, the necklace gets taken off. Tag ends up running it back to the DOD, back to Anderson. And I feel like that's when we get some more information on what's going on with that necklace. And we end up seeing, Superman and Bizarro going at it. And that was a cool fight sequence that went down. And hence why we got that cool, cinematic photo, which is my thumbnail, which I really do love that picture of Tyler's, Superman. He just looks so good in that picture. Very cinematic, very Superman. And we see that fight going down. And then next thing you know, he's, getting his ass kicked. He's getting, punched repeatedly. He's getting his shit kicked in by Bizarro. Next thing you know, here comes, John, and he's saying, oh, I'm going to throw my hammer. And of course, Isaiah's if you throw this hammer, there's a chance it could break. You know what I mean? And there might not, and that's all that's left. You know what I mean? And that's all your power if we transfer all the power into your hammer. Are you sure you want to do that? He's like, yes. Ends up throwing his hammer, splitting them up. But then it ends up coming to the problem of, here comes Bizarro picking, John up, ends up I think he ends up punching him or throwing him across the room. His mask, top ends up breaking off. His suit, he's just tumbling. And at this point, he has no protection. All of his energy's out there. His shields are down. So he's getting all this tumbling, beating inside the suit. The suit's not even protecting him. It's somewhat protecting him, but the energy fields and everything that was protecting him in the suit is offline, all ruined. And he's just laying there. And that's what gives Clark enough strength to literally beat the shit out of Bizarro, sending him up into space. Literally. At that point, he's like, oh crap. And he even looks out into the distance when he flies over to John to see if he's okay. And mind you, he scans John, but he can tell John is really hurt bad. And he looks out into the distance, sees the other, two, Anderson's other, teammates that are dead on the ground. And he would want to take them back, but he knows he has to take John to the hospital right now, and he cannot take all three of them. So he ends up grabbing John, ends up flying off really quickly to take John to the hospital. At this point, we get Natalie getting the information from Lois right when Jordan, I think Jordan and Jonathan are there, if not just Jonathan. And that's when she gets notified by Lois that John's in the hospital. They end up going there. Lois and of course, Natalie, and of course Clark's is there in a Superman outfit, and he's standing there, and we see John beat the shit, has a neck brace on. Literally, he's finally off the machine that was giving him oxygen. He's finally able to breathe on his own. He's in rough condition, and even Natalie's like, how could you? You were meant to protect him. You know what I mean? You shouldn't have been out there in the first place. Just please leave us alone. And I really felt bad because, even Clark feels bad, meaning that I was supposed to be there for him. I should have been stronger, and he even knows he should have been stronger to defeat Bizarro without John, and he feels guilty, and I am excited to see how he can get back in a good graces with Natalie, because Natalie was so pissed at him, saying, please get out of here, please leave us alone, you were supposed to protect them. So that you can really tell Clark is taking it hard. And of course, with everything Lois is going through on realizing that Lucy is too far gone, and she doesn't know what to do with Lucy and what to do even with Chrissy, even though Clark's like, you'll patch things up with Chrissy, things will be okay. And, what was going on also with Jordan and him going to one of one of what is it one of one of Sarah's friends, one of Sarah's cheerleading friends from schools, like I guess new like mini mart situation, or new like new like it looked like a new it looked like sort of like a gas station, but I guess a new market it seemed like, and it was cool because we saw Jordan actually using his powers, like we're seeing him at the start of him wanting to do his vigilante stuff like around Smallville. I feel like it reminded me so much of Smallville, the TV show, where we see Clark do his like savings around Smallville, and it's Jordan's already starting to do that, where he hears these two underage kids in the back trying to steal alcohol, and he ends up using his freeze breath on the ground, knowing that they'd have to go rush out of there to get out of there, and they slipped, and then we saw the bottle, and they ended up running out. But then Sarah ends up trying to go after them, and then that's when her friend's like, no, Sarah, it's okay. We have cameras, you know what I mean? It's okay. And that's when Jordan's like, oh shit, I forgot to, scour, look at my surroundings to make sure I wasn't going to get caught. And I feel like, and I was like, this is so perfect, because it reminded me so much again of Smallville, where it was like at the early stages of when Clark used to do his superhero savings around Smallville. And he was like, and there would be moments in Smallville, in the show where he would almost get caught by cameras or something, and someone had to do something for him, or he would have to try to get the footage back. It reminded me so much of that, but of course, he does not want to tell, Clark, his father, about, oh shit, I used my powers irresponsibly without looking around my surroundings. So he calls Sam, and Sam, while he's doing, golf, he ends up saying to, Jordan, literally, I was in charge of the government. This is easy as Candy Crush. Like, of course I can scramble that footage and make sure they don't see you. Like, that's how good I am. Again, I used to be in charge of the government. You know what I mean? Like, I used to be, I'm good. I was in charge of the DOD, so I loved that moment, and he says, I really appreciate it. And we end up seeing a moment where he actually, Sam says to him, when he says, thank you. Sam says, if you would have stood just a little to the left, you would have been off, you wouldn't have made it on the cameras. And he's like, that's just a little tip there. So I'll see you later. And I feel like that's when Jordan really kicked into gear, where it's like, I want to start helping out Dad. I need you to train me. From that little tip that he gave, where he said, you should have stood a little to the left, you wouldn't have been on the cameras. So I like that Sam is going to be training Jordan. I love that. And of course, Sam's like, you cannot let your parents know that I am training you. And he's like, you better get your sleep because you're going to need it. Meaning that, of course, Sam's not going to be easy on him. He's going to be hard on him. If you want to be like your father, shit's going to be hard. And I'm excited because I really do think that this will really toughen up Jordan more than Clark teaching Jordan. You know what I mean? I really appreciate this a little bit more. But also, this could go bad also, because he could be teaching him the wrong ways of doing things that Clark would teach him the right ways of doing things. So I'm excited to see how that's going to turn out, because I know they're going to find out eventually, Lois and Clark, that, Sam is training their son. So that's going to be interesting. Along with, again, Jonathan, him kind of second guessing if he should take the X kryptonite, which again, I called that. I love how I just love that I got that right, because I was like, could it be X kryptonite? And I was happy I got that theory right. That again, Tyler has been taking X kryptonite, and again, Candace is supplying now Jonathan X kryptonite to keep up with Tyler. And I love how Jonathan was like, I'm not sure if that's that's really right for me to do. And of course, Candace is like, well, I sold Tyler 5 inhalers, so if you want to keep up with him, you're going to have to take it. And I was like, wow. I was like, what kind of a girlfriend are you? And it goes back to, again, I think him and Candace are not going to work out. And I think he'll realize how wrong Candace is for him, that Candace is encouraging him to take this drug, and Candace is willing to sell this bad drug just to make money, even though she is in a bad place, trying to make money for her, her father and everything, since they can't get jobs and stuff, and they're in the bad place right now with money. But I still think it's crappy that she's willing to put other kids at risk just trying to make money, especially her boyfriend she apparently cares about. Also, I think that Sarah is going to set Jonathan up when, him and Candace don't work out with Sarah's ex-friend that works at that market, because she was saying how she thinks Jonathan is cute. I think she's going to get set up with Jonathan. I think that's what's going to happen. I feel like that was kind of like a little hint there. So I'm excited for that. But when he took that drug, he was instantly like, "Oh God, this is amazing." Now I know how it must. Now I know, like, how this. Now I know how my Jordan must feel when when he has his powers. You know what I mean? Like, this is amazing. I think I think that's why he punches Jordan in the next episode, because I think Jordan is gonna find out that Jonathan's been taking that and is gonna try to stop him, and Jonathan is gonna get addicted, and that's gonna cause a problem between them both, and a problem within the family that he is taking drugs to be the best at football. And that there's going to be a problem where, like, that's not okay, that you're willing to do this to beat someone that's cheating. That's not the right way to do it. You know what I mean? You should have told somebody. So I'm excited to see how that's all going to go down. I still am standing by my theory where him taking this X-Kryptonite is what's probably going to kickstart Jonathan's powers eventually. Probably, and that's probably going to be like the finale, where like his powers end up kicking in, and they're going to be like, we told you to stop taking the X-Kryptonite. And it's going to be a moment where Jonathan's like, I did stop taking it. And it'll just cut off. And that will be next season where like Jordan has to deal now, where Jordan kind of feels maybe maybe next season, maybe where I can feel like maybe he could be like, oh, I'm not as special anymore because now Jonathan has powers. You know what I mean? Maybe Jordan will go back to kind of how he was before. And that's kind of like a long shot theory, but I feel like maybe this can activate Jonathan's Kryptonian DNA. I think this is what will finally activate it. So that's going to be interesting if my theory's correct on that one. I want to know how you guys feel about that theory. But other than that, guys, this episode was insane. We were getting so much, and that I hate. Like, it was very eerie, that cult feeling. We really feel that how like Allie is really like a manipulative cult leader, and I'm liking it, but it's like scary and eerie. I love that, and I hope we get into more of the crazy. When she said I was almost ascending. That's what, Lucy said. I was almost ascending. That's some creepy shit, and I'm wondering what that looked like, and I wonder if we'll get any more weird power-y, because I think, Allie's definitely got some powers that she's doing with these people, so I'm wondering if she has a way of getting them to agree with her, and getting them to, like, and there's a way she's able to manipulate people and think that, she's helping them. I wonder what her abilities are, and I'm wondering if we're going to see anything like that. But other than that, guys, I just loved this episode, and I cannot wait to hear what you guys had to say about episode 4 of Superman and Lois. Again, I love this show, guys. Again, I think they kill it each and every episode that they do. Even this second season, they are killing it. And I know they're going to kill it in season 3, because I know it's going to get renewed for season 3, because this show is just is not like any other show on the CW. Besides, of course, I love Stargirl. I feel like that's still a very underrated show that not many people talk about, Stargirl. Because it did start out again on the DC app before it went to, of course, on live television on the CW. Which starting last year, I think that's when it started on season 2. But guys, like, I love Stargirl, and I think it really is up there with Superman and Lois. That is my second favorite show to Superman and Lois, if not my favorite show. It's kind of hard. They're like neck and neck. I just love them both. So again, and we're going on to our 3rd season of Stargirl, so I'm super excited for Stargirl because they killed it with season 2 of Stargirl, and I think that I would love to see a crossover between them both, so that between that show and that show, because they are great, and they have nothing to do with the Flash universe, where like with the Arrowverse and stuff. It's kind of like these are outside of that, and I hope they stay that way, because I do not want Flash, I do not want Batwoman, I do not want Legends of Tomorrow, I do not want any other things I am missing touching Stargirl and Superman and Lois, because I feel like that's what will kill these shows that we love. So, yeah. But I would love Superman and Lois and Stargirl to crossover. That would be fire. Preferably, I would love Tyler's Superman to go over to Stargirl. I would prefer that more than that vice versa. But I don't know if that will ever happen, but I think that would be cool. Also, to find out, Superman and Lois is actually produced by HBO Max, but it is put on the CW. So that's why the budget looks so good. It actually isn't made by the CW. It was actually made by the people that involved around HBO Max. So that was actually cool to find out. That was actually, I think, in the money and the producing is behind HBO Max, but is put on live television by the CW. So that's actually pretty cool to find out that, because I actually looked that up and that was pretty cool. Because people were saying that, but some other people were saying no, it's actually a CW show. But actually, it turns out it's produced by HBO Max. So that's actually really cool. But guys, I just love this show so much, and I cannot wait for episode 5, because that's going to be insane to see that squabble between Jordan and Jonathan. It's going to be some interesting storylines we're going through, and finding out what the necklace is going to be doing, because if anything, it's going to be super dangerous that it's in Anderson's hands now. I don't know what that thing can do, but it clearly cannot get destroyed by Bizarro's heat breath. You know what I mean? So and that's a pretty strong, beams that were coming from his mouth. So if it can't be destroyed by Superman's, heat breath, heat, vision, Bizarro's heat vision and stuff coming from his mouth, I don't think it can be destroyed at all. So I don't know what that thing can do, but it was trying to suck in Clark. So I'm assuming it must do something. But I really don't know. We really won't know enough until we maybe see next week's episode and we'll get some information, because Anderson is probably going to study that necklace, find out what the deal is, why it tried doing whatever it tried doing to Clark. Maybe it was actually taking some of his strength. I don't know. Maybe what it was doing, or maybe it's trying to suck it in so that way there's no longer, that eerie headaches that both of them have being connected. I don't know. Let me know down in the comments below if you guys found out what the necklace does, or if you guys have any idea what the necklace does. And let me know what you guys think about Jordan, being trained by Sam. I think that's gonna be interesting storyline with that. And do you guys think that Jonathan will get addicted to this X-Kryptonite? And do you think this will kickstart his abilities? I want to know down in the comments below what you guys think. Also, do you guys think that, and now Anderson has this necklace, do you guys think that he will try to use that necklace in a bad way by him thinking it's a good way, because hopefully he realizes that Superman was right, that those kids were not ready, and now he has two kids' deaths on his conscience. I hope he realizes that, Superman was right and that they were not ready. But who knows? I don't think he'll realize that. I think he'll try to make more. I think he'll try to use that necklace, make maybe somebody stronger, maybe Tag stronger. At least strong enough to maybe take on Bizarro. I don't know. I just know that we are in for some good storytelling with everything that's going on, especially Lois trying to save Lucy, trying to give Lucy a redemption arc, even though I think she's way too far gone. She is absolutely insane. And again, shout out to, the girl that plays Lucy, because she is killing it. And I am just super excited to find out what else we are going to see from her this season. I'm trying to figure out what her actual name is in the IMDb, but I cannot find her, weirdly enough. Let me do this. Jenna Dewan. Yeah, she's killing it. As, Lucy, playing Lucy, because I think she's killing it even more than what she did on Superman, on Supergirl. So I think she's killing it, absolutely. So I'm excited to see, will Lois get to her before it's too late? I want to know down in the comments below. But guys, again, if you're new to the channel, subscribe to the channel, put in notifications, like this video. I would love to have you guys here, a part of this family, a part of this channel. We're all about spreading love, positivity, and motivation. And guys, we are almost to 500 subscribers. Right now, we're at 441. Guys, I'm really, really trying to get there, and I would love it. Again, if you watch this video, please give this video a thumbs up, put on the notifications, and come join this fam. I would really appreciate it, to have some more, fam members come on here. And, because I would just really, really appreciate it. I'm really trying to make this, channel grow so we can finally get to 500 subs. Because if we get to 500 subscribers, I can turn on I forget what it's called, the community page. I could turn that on so I could talk to you guys like whenever. I could do what is it? I can do polls on there. I can talk to you guys and ask you guys questions about what you guys want to see on the channel. it's a lot easier to communicate on there than making, very long videos asking those questions, where I could just type to you guys, text you guys on there, and we can do polls, and I can find out what you guys like the most. So please, yet again, if you haven't subscribed to the channel, I would really love it. Again, subscribe to the channel, because it will help me start the community page, so I can really talk to you guys and get to, and get some information from you guys on what you guys would like to see more here on the channel. And hopefully, we could start doing a lot more things on there. You know what I mean? It just opens up a bigger, broader, opening to the channel. It also pushes the channel more, so more people can find the channel and come join us here on the fam. So I would really appreciate it. Again, if you watch my videos, please subscribe to the channel and come join this fam, guys. I would really appreciate it. Help me get to 500 subs, please. I know we can do it. So please, please, please help me get to 500. But guys, that was a video. I hope everybody has a great day, a safe day, and I'll see you guys next Tuesday for episode 5 of Superman and Lois. Peace. Oh, and guys, real quick, this is my little brother Mason. The one you probably hear screaming in the background and stuff. So this is my little brother Mason. Say hi, Mason.
Hi.
Yeah, and he actually watched Superman and Lois with me today for the first time. He's actually been getting into a lot of comic book stuff. He loves Spidey and His Amazing Friends. He loves Spider-Man, of course, that's like his favorite hero, but he loves Superman. He's getting into like DC and stuff, so he's been watching Superman and Lois with me, and you loved today's first episode. Did you watch, didn't you?
Yeah.
You really enjoyed it? Because you were saying Superman and Lois.
Yeah.
You were saying Superman and Lois. So I'm really happy he's been enjoying it, and hopefully, he can come on here a little bit more, and yeah. Wouldn't that be fun?
Yeah.
But yeah, I just wanted to come and say hi, and I wanted to make sure that he could say hi. So yeah.
Hi.
Hi. All right, baby. All right, I'll see you. All right. Bye. So yeah, guys, I just wanted to make sure that he could say hi to you guys, because he really wanted to do that, and I promised him he could. But guys, that was the end of the video. Again, I'll see you guys next time. Peace.